Headliner Radio, the creative voice.
Today we're welcoming singer-songwriter James Morrison onto the podcast, whose debut single, You Give Me Something, propelled him into the charts in 2006. He's been steadily releasing albums ever since, as well as writing for artists including Demi Lovato, Kelly Clarkson and more. He's just released his greatest hits album and is about to go on a UK and European tour, and he's performing at a Perfect Day festival in Exeter in July, which is a one-day festival. So we're just catching you before you head off on tour, aren't we? So thanks so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure.
Honestly, it's such a pleasure to talk to you. I cannot tell you how many times I listen to my undiscovered CD, which feels like a really dated thing to say now about listening to a CD, doesn't it?
It's good that you still got it.
Yeah, I moved house recently. I've been going through all of my boxes of stuff and I thought, CDs, like my car doesn't even have a CD player anymore. How times change.
Yeah, I know. It's funny, isn't it?
Mental.
But yeah, that's the way it goes. Like, even like for me being a kid, it's changed so much. Like I used to have tapes in my car.
Tapes. I think I had a tape in my first car, actually. Yeah, I did.
I had a pile of tapes in my passenger seat, just like I used to just reach into and be like, what's this one? And that was how it used to be.
It was, wasn't it? Do you know what? Someone actually smashed the window of my piece of crap first car once, but they left the tape player in there. That's how bad it was. Oh, they didn't want to even steal it.
Yeah. You know it's bad if they leave it.
I know, that hurts. That does hurt. So, how are you anyway? Where are we speaking to you from? You're at home?
I'm at home, yeah. On a nice sunny day, actually.
Sunny?
Yeah,
Where are
I'm
you?
really good.
You can't be
lie.
Are you in the UK?
I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm in Gloucestershire, in the countryside, so it's nice.
Oh, it's not
it just
sunny
smells
down
like
here.
Cow poo and possibility.
And possibility, okay.
Yeah.
That's an interesting spin on it.
Yeah, it's more possible. I don't know, it just seems, anything seems more possible when the weather's good, I think.
Yeah, well, you must be getting all the good stuff down there. It's all grey in Kent.
Oh, no. Well, it's nice in Kent, though. It's nice in Kent.
Some parts. But what is it? So what's going on with you at the moment? Like, what is a typical day in the life of James Morrison looking like? So I know you've got your tour coming up. It's so soon, isn't it? So I guess this is even different from you over the last couple of years.
It can be a mix from anything from looking after the kids and just doing normal stuff, like how, taking my daughter to school because she's missed the bus. Or it can be like promo and doing, or I'm in the studio, or it can be any of it, or all of that. But yeah, at the minute, it's just been a lot of Zoom calls for promotion, a lot of TV, and a lot of like acoustic performances in sort of HMV, trying to promote my album really. But it's been fun because I've been meeting a lot of people, so it's been good to sort of finally meet people after so long of not really sort of having that interaction really. Generally with my fans, I mean, I have seen people, but just like hearing them talk about the album, they're telling me how they've listened to it, and it's just nice to get a little bit of feedback now it's finally out. So that's been good. It's been fun. It's been fun playing live again. I love playing live music. I'm about to go on tour, so it's good.
Yes, you are, aren't you? And yeah, I was listening to your Greatest Hits album yesterday because before I interview anyone, I usually always listen to their music anyway, more just so that I know what's going on. But I genuinely listened to it many times in a row yesterday when I was working and when I was making dinner. I loved it, really? And I love that you've re-recorded them as well. I didn't realise at first that's what you did. I thought maybe they were not live recordings, so they've got that kind of sound to them, haven't they? Yeah. So I really liked that you did that. Yeah,
well, it just felt like it was the right thing to do. For me to get excited about it. I've been singing those songs for a long time. So to get in the studio and make new versions of them was just like, I just wanted to make a new album at that point. I didn't really want to have to do a greatest hit. So the fact that I got the opportunity, I thought I'd turn it around and do something with it that I want to do. So I get excited. So it's not this feeling of like, I've done all that already and not really excited about people hearing the same songs that I've heard for years. So I just thought, it's good to sort of update it and make it feel more fresh and just more lively and more in the room and more, just to update the emotion in the songs as well, and just put a new spin on it a little bit. So there's some life to them again.
Yeah, do you still enjoy performing your songs as much as you did? I suppose it's just natural for any artist. The more albums you release, the more you perform each song. Do you still have that love for them, the early ones in particular?
Yeah, it's like, I suppose they're like family members in a way. Like, you love them unconditionally, but sometimes you're like, oh, bloody hell, this is annoying. you know, I don't know. They're like old friends, you know, that are slightly annoying, but you love them. You know, they can be. It's like most of the time, I just appreciate it. Now I'm a bit older, and I've sort of travelled the world a few times playing music with these songs. They just sort of become more a part of you. I don't know. It's weird. It's like because when I wrote them, I was young, and I didn't really, you know, I just threw caution to it. I just sort of just tried something, and then all of a sudden, 15 years later, they're like a massive part of your life and other people's lives, and it's weird. It's quite weird.
And in particular, like for instance, when you wrote "You Give Me Something," can you remember? Well, you probably can. Where did you write that? I mean, was it a quick song to write? And given that it's one, you know, what it's gone on to do as well.
Well, the initial idea was sort of, you know, I had a little idea at the start of a day writing with someone else, and the day wasn't going very well. And I played them the idea, and they didn't really like it. So I was like, all right, no worries. And then the next guy I went to, I didn't have any ideas. So I was like, I've only got this one thing that I tried yesterday, but no one liked it. And I played it to him, and it was quite sweet. It was more like, will you stay with me in the morning, and will you hold me when I sleep? It was more sort of insipidly sweet. And then we changed it, so it was a little bit more sort of truthful, you know, more unwilling to sort of, I don't know, like the first sort of buds of love, of when it's a bit scary and you don't know what's going to happen, but you know you've got feelings for each other, and that sort of thing. And yeah, it just came together really quick. It came to the initial idea came together quick, but it took us a couple of days to sort of figure out the movements of the chords and stuff going into the choruses and stuff like that. But it was initially like a day or two at most. And then we sort of parked it for a bit and came back to it, put horns on it and stuff like that. And then it became what it is. But yeah, it's funny. I never really thought it would be like my first single out. I just thought I liked it enough to go, yeah, that's all right. I like the chord movements in it. But still singing it 15 years later, it's kind of, I think it's more my trademark tune than Broken Strings or any of the other ones. I just like it.
Is Broken Strings and the more, I suppose the way to say it is commercially successful, the most streamed, however people measure that these days?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And people do actually want me to, like, I tried taking it out of the tour and people were just cheering it at the end of the set, like, you've got to sing it.
You've got to, yeah.
So I tried to please the fans and play what they want to hear, really, because I've been to gigs where they don't play the song you want to hear and it is annoying.
Well, yeah, because sometimes you think they must surely be saving it for the encore.
Yeah, you're just like, just play it.
Just do it, James. Are you going to have any duets for that one, or are you going to do the whole song yourself?
Well, this time, I think because of the song, the way we recorded it, it was more like more like the original song that I wrote. It was never meant to be a ballad. So, but the good thing about it is I can pull people in if I need to. You know, if I change my mind one day and I want to do it as a duet, I can do that as well. So I don't know, really. I haven't really fully decided yet. But yeah, I think initially the way that it's recorded is me on my own. So I'll try both. Okay,
cool. And then I know one of the new songs on the Greatest Hits album is it's Don't Mess With Love, isn't it? So when did you write that one then? Obviously, I'm guessing more recently. And what was the inspiration for this one?
That was through lockdown. I was just doing writing sessions while there was not much going on. And so, yeah, and it just came out of that, really. It sounded like one of those old school sort of classic sort of, I don't know, it just sounded like a old school classic song to me. And Don't Mess With Love was that Rachel Furner, she's a really good pop melody R&B writer. And she had the title, and I just thought, oh yeah, Don't Mess With Love. I quite like it. It's tongue in cheek. It's just like, yeah, don't mess with it. If it's real good, then you don't need to mess around with it or start putting pressure on it or all that sort of stuff. I just thought it was tongue in cheek, but I liked it. There's some quite good sort of life lesson sort of lines in there. And I just thought it was, I just liked it. It reminded me of old school stuff that I used to like when I was a kid, listening to the radio, or I don't know, like old school sort of summer jams or something. It's slightly R&B, but more sort of, it's got a pop chorus, I guess.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And then, so if you compare this song, for instance, with some of your older songs, do you think what's inspired your music, or, you know, that sort of thing, has that changed over the years or matured as you have?
Yeah, I think I've just got a better understanding of how to get what I want, I think. In the start, I didn't really, I had my voice and I'd sang a lot of different songs in my youth and open mics and sort of busking. And I'd only just started writing when I got my deal. So I still feel like, even though I'm 10, 15 years into the game, I'm still sort of finding my way with writing and sort of finding how to make the music that I want to make rather than doing sort of, in the early days, I suppose I was just slightly doing an impression of music that I liked. And I guess now I know how to sort of get it a little bit more sort of on the nose,
Mm. Yeah, I suppose that's the kind of thing you learn with experience.
Actually. I mean, that's what I say to myself. Whether that's the truth or not is another thing. But I'm more sort of invested into it, and I don't know. I guess when you get a bit older, you just want to write about stuff that's real and sort of not so poppy, more just sort of it feels good. And I'm getting to understand how to get that, and that's satisfying for me as an artist, And I'm getting played on radio, so it's good. It's not like I'm not ever going to always have like smash hits, but I'll have songs that people like that they take into their life and sort of, and they play them, and that's more important to me than having like number one hit singles and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to ask about the radio. Does it still feel just as exciting when you hear, for instance, maybe a newer track or one of your new singles on the radio as it did then? Yeah.
Yeah, buzzing. I never take it for granted. It's like it still feels like such a magical thing that I'm a no one really. I'm a nobody from a nowhere town, and I had no prospects, and it was all against me. And I've managed to figure out how to do something I love for a living and make money at it, and be able to feed my kids and not worry about all the shit I had to worry about when I was a kid. And that is just winning. It's just massively winning to me. Mm. And every time I step on stage and I sing, I just love it. I love it for the purity of it. And I love just singing because it moves people. And I just fucking love it.
Just fucking love it. I think that's going to be the title.
I do though. I do. I love it. I love being in the moment of like being on stage and hearing a crowd sing back and they're giving it something. They've got good energy and you're all in it together, and that sort of sense of community and sort of especially these days when everything's so sort of separate, and everyone's in different groups, and it's nice when you just get a crowd of people and they're all in it as one, and I love that aspect of it. I love it when you're all in it together.
Yeah. And how much have you missed? I mean, it sounds like a super obvious question, but that whole performing live side of things, which has just been completely gone over the last couple of years. I know it's starting to come back now, and obviously you're about to go on tour.
I know, it's so exciting. It's like having a sort of, I don't know what the right analogy is, but it's like, I'm looking at all my instruments piled up in my studio and I'm like, they haven't been played in a while. And it's like having a bike that you don't ride. Like Ross, when he says to Phoebe, about riding the bike well. It's like having a bike you don't ride. It just sits there. It's like the same feeling like when you've got this music and you can play and you do it because you love it. When you're not doing it, it just points out how much you love it even more. I think I did 3 gigs about 4 months ago, and I was buzzing for about 2 weeks afterwards just because of those 3 gigs. Just being at a gig is exciting for me, just as exciting. Like when I've got a drink in my hand and I'm watching a band I know I'm going to play live. It's such a good feeling.
Absolutely, and I think everyone's missed that. So people that come to see you on tour as well will probably be even more excited than they usually would, just to actually, I think we all took it for granted and what was normal for us, didn't we?
100%. Yeah, and I think music is such a powerful thing. It moves you in such a subconscious way that people need that part of it. Like they don't want to be thinking about stuff. We've had to think about stuff for so long. And I think if you just get those little moments where you can forget everything for an hour, then it really helps your mind and your soul. And it's like camping. If you go camping or you're in touch with nature again for a day, you go to the beach or whatever. That's why I like where we're. Is it? It's Powderham, isn't it?
What? Sorry.
It's Powderham Castle?
Oh, that's the A Perfect Day?
Yeah.
The castle. I can't remember the name of the castle, but I know it's in Exeter.
Yeah, it's a nice one. It's good.
Well, it's going to be stunning, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an amazing day out. Last time I was there, I was enjoying myself so much that I forgot I was playing the gig. I was drinking beers with my mates, and then my tour manager was like, "James, the gig." I was like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah. Well, it's easy to get carried away, isn't it? Did you make it on stage?
I did, and it was an amazing gig. Yeah, it was a really, really good gig. I loved it. It was just such a nice, beautiful setting, and the day's just a really nice day, especially if it's in July. It's good weather, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed. You never know, but it sounds like it's really good. It's sort of like a one-day festival. So it's David Gray, Tom Odell, you, of course.
Exactly. Yeah,
in Exeter,
and I love all of them.
hopefully
I
Sun.
think they're all really good artists. I like David Gray a lot, and Tom Odell is amazing. I've played gigs with him before, and he's got really good. He's got loads of good songs. He sings the crap out of it, and he's really good. But he gets the crowd going, like real punky sort of vibe. He's good.
Well, let's hope you manage to make it onto the stage. Don't get carried away with the beers.
Yeah, whatever.
I think people don't mind it as long as you turn up.
I learned my lesson. I wasn't drunk, but I was just enjoying myself so much that I completely forgot about the gig. I was just like, oh yeah.
At least that shows you're relaxed about it. Do you not get nervous anymore then, or?
That's the first time that's ever happened to me, to be fair. But yeah, I always get nervous. Yeah, but I make the decision beforehand to turn it into like excitement, and I can normally pull myself round. I think, it's like fight or flight. I just think, well, if I'm going to go up there, I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to do it because I love it, not because I'm scared or, And obviously, it's took me a long time to get it in my head that if they're there, they're there because they want to be there.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I've always got this, because I used to play in open mics, and not necessarily everyone there is going to like you. So that's where, I always have that sort of frame in my mind when I'm going on stage, is that maybe everyone isn't there just because they want to be there. So I've got to earn it. And that's where the fire comes from. It's like, I'm like, okay, there's probably people there that don't like it or haven't bought tickets, especially for me, but they're there. So I'm like, right, I'll just try and sing the best I can sing just to get them on board, so they know I'm doing it for the right reasons. And, and normally by the end I've got.
Okay.
You're like, I'm not sure.
Sorry, I thought you were pausing dramatically.
Jimmy Bab.
I thought you were pausing dramatically, James.
Yeah, I liked it. It worked.
That's what I did. So what? So your tour as well. That's March 10th, is it? That's when it's starting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
March
really
10th.
soon.
Yeah, soon. Yeah.
How are the preparations going? You all rehearsed? You're good?
The preps. Yeah. I mean, I had a couple of days the other day rehearsing with them. It was really fun. Yeah, I had a good couple of days. I think it's going to be a good show. Yeah, as always. I mean, yeah, I change it up. I try and change it up each time I go on tour, so that there's different songs in there, and actually all the versions that I've recorded recently are different anyway. So yeah, it's good. I think people will enjoy it because they get the songs that they know, but they're played slightly different. So it's not like, oh, this is the same thing again. So it's good.
And you're going to be playing Broken Strings, yeah? Because you don't want the audience to get angry.
Yeah, of course. I'm there to please the fans. Like 100%. I want to hear them singing along. They're so good at singing that one. Yeah. It's a good one for the crowd.
It's such a great sing-along, that one.
Yeah.
Great for the harmonies as well.
Put that in there.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
absolutely.
There you go.
What about which songs do you still like to perform live the most? Do you have a few favourites that you think, oh, every time it might be an older song, but actually no, I'm loving this. This is one of my favourite ones to do.
Yeah, there's a few that are like just little sort of, every time you play them, they're like little rockets, and you can just go straight through the tune, and it's big and it sounds exciting. There's a few, to me anyway, that do that. Wonderful World is good for that.
Yeah.
Or Nothing Ever Hurt Like You, or I'm actually really enjoying Pieces Don't Fit at the minute.
Okay.
Because it kicks off like way more than it ever used to at the end, and I think it suits the song. It's good. It's a little bit more sort of, it's tragic, but it's rocky at the same time. Whereas it used to just be tragic.
Right. Yeah, it's quite a sad song, that one, isn't it?
Yeah. yeah, but I like sort of sad with mixed with a bit of sort of venom in there, and that's where, yeah, I don't know. I just like it when you get that sort of, you both get both angles in the song, sort of the bitter side of sort of rejection, as well as just the rejection,
rather than the lovely side of rejection that we all
yeah.
love.
But then I've got some sunny songs as well, you know. So it's like, even if I'm writing about something that's slightly sad, I try and dress it up so it makes you feel good at least.
Yeah, like there's a bit of hope at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't like too much misery. So yeah, I think the show's a good mix of like all those different emotions, and the band, I've been playing with them for years. They're just so good, and I enjoy. We're like an organic thing. It's not like one of those sort of acts where you have a band just backing the singer and it's awkward and it's a bit sort of pop. I don't know. My band's more traditional. Like, we are a unit when we go out on tour, and we enjoy it, and we enjoy interacting with each other as a band. So it's good. I've got the best of both worlds. I'm a solo artist, but I've got a band, and I've always wanted a band. So I love going on tour because of that reason, because I've got like the full shebang behind me.
And have they been the same band that you've had since the beginning?
No, not exactly, but probably since 2008, I've had pretty much the same drummer, Neil Wilkinson, same bass player, Matt Round. I've got a new guitar player that I've had for the last 5-6 years, Conor McDonald. He's amazing, Irish guy. And I've got the same organ player I've had since 2008, and he's Rich Milner. He's amazing. He's one of the best organ players in the country. He's ridiculous. And my whole band, I like that. You know, they're just proper good players, and they know how to dress up the sound so that they support me in as much as they need to, and drive it as much as they need to. It's good. It's a good show. Even if I wasn't a part of it, I would like to see that band play because they're good.
What, with just no one singing? Just the audience?
Yeah, they probably need someone to say, you could step up, I reckon. You sound like, you might have some harmonies there.
Well, I don't know if anyone wants to hear them, but I'll give it a go.
Give us a little test. I'll tell you if you.
Maybe off air. I'd rather not sing to James Morrison while I'm recording it.
Oh, come on! I'm not that judgy. I'm not too judgy.
You're not going to go all Simon Cowell on me?
No, of course not.
Okay. Maybe another time. Well, I am going to probably come and see you on tour, actually. I've seen you performing in Folkestone, which is sort of near me. So,
oh, yeah, nice.
I can't wait to go and see that, and obviously see all the new tracks that you're doing. And
yeah, and it'll be nicer weather by then, hopefully.
I hope so, yeah. I hope so. And are you doing any other festivals this year as well, if there are even that many on yet?
I think I am doing a few. I think there was talk of doing Wildwood, but I'm not sure actually, because everything's been so up and down with getting moved and sort of pre-booked, booked again later on in the year. I've got a few things through July actually. I'm doing a gig with Westlife.
Nice.
And
okay.
I'm doing some gigs with, I think I'm doing some gigs with Paloma Faith.
Yeah.
And I've got a gig with Will Young at Kew Gardens. Cool. So I've got a few bits and bobs going on. And if I've got festivals, I can't remember where they are, to be fair. But yeah, I've got enough
someone will tell you
to be excited about playing music again this year, 100%.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Well, James, I think that's a nice note to end on. I've gone over your promised 20 minutes as well, so
that's all right.
I'm going to cut you loose. But it's been such a pleasure. It's really nice to hear that you're still loving performing just as much as you did, because it's not the case with all artists. Some people might get a bit tired of it.
Sometimes it's a bit of a mission for them, and it's just there's a lot of headache that comes with the job, I guess. And I'm lucky that I do it mainly for the music part of it, and all the other stuff is slightly annoying. Whereas for some, they like all the celeb stuff, and the music's the bit that they're like, oh, I've got to do this. Whereas I love it.
No, I think that comes across as well. So, well, best of luck with the tour. I suppose you've got to get up and do some more practicing or whatever. Make sure it's all prepped with the band. Well, I don't know what goes into it. I assume you've got to do rehearsals or something.
I just sort of dance about in my living room, look in the mirror and throw shapes.
Yeah, I'm sure that doesn't stress out the team at all. Yeah, I know exactly what's going on, guys. Don't worry. Got this really good dance for you.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll sort it out. I'll be ready.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just not too many beers before, or you won't make that mistake.
No, that's
again.
it. No, I
Just
won't
the right
have
amount.
any beers before.
Everyone else will though. That gets the Brits in the mood to watch a gig.
As long as I'm not drunk and everyone else is, it's fine.
Okay, the beers after then. Okay, brilliant. All right, thanks so much, James. I will
Absolute
look forward
pleasure.
to seeing you live then later this year.
Have a nice day.
You too. You too. Enjoy the sunshine over there.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
Okay, bye, James.
Headliner Radio, supporting the creative community.